Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm Malicious Feet. My face, Steve Malicious here, back with some iPhone 12 Pro cases. But before we get started, thank you so much to all the new subscribers, up over 2,090 as of the taping of this video. If you're loving all the technology, go ahead and give that subscribe button a tussle. It certainly means a lot to me. So, I wanted cases for the iPhone 12. Obviously, I wasn't going to rock it without a case and just wind up breaking the thing. But I never, ever have liked the Apple polyurethane cases. They dirty up to me. I don't like that texture. I don't like that rubberized texture over the entire surface of the case. I don't like holding them. I'm just not a huge fan of them. I never have been. I think they're overpriced. So I always wait for third-party offerings. And this year, thankfully, right alongside those, Otterbox had their offerings ready to go with MagSafe as well, which is nice, which we'll get to in a moment. So they were the same price as the Apple ones. So I went ahead and got two of them to see how well the new offerings stack up with the new iPhone 12 design. So let's take a look. So we have the Figura, which is represented by this box here on the left, the very pink person. We'll get to that in a second. And the Aneu. The Aneu. All right, whatever. Listen, as long as the case works, right? So let's start with the Figura. It's more of the polyurethane case. So it's a simple case. It's flexible, kind of that rubberized material. It's just meant as more. I don't want to say it's a skin. It's a lot more than a skin. Obviously, it covers it, but it's like a lot more of those gel skin type cases. But it will protect the phone. It's not flimsy at all. It doesn't feel cheap. I feel like if something were to drop, there's significant protection in here that you wouldn't have to worry about it dropping on a corner and shattering or anything like that, or even dropping like this. And it certainly will protect against scratches and all the rest. Now, as you can see right here, MagSafe ready to go. So whenever you could get one, which I can't even until November, whenever you could get one of those MagSafe chargers, slap right on the back, and you don't feel like you're missing out on anything by not getting the Apple standard cases. So let's put this on. This one's relatively easy to get on. No issue there. And what I do like about this, even though I feel like this will wear in a little bit, at first this material is always a little bit slippery, but the more you use it and the more you hold it, it'll kind of get its grip as that initial, I don't want to call it shine, but as that initial coating wears off that's on there. But you get to it where it does have some grip to it. I'll tell you what, the pictures on the website did not show up. It is a lot more pink in person. And I'm talking proper pink, not salmon. I can't even cover this one with one of my coral or something like that, cantaloupe. This is absolutely pink. On the website, it looks like, well, there's a little pink up here, but then it's mostly a lot of orange and then some purplish blue working in. No, when you get it, the pink permeates through the entire case. So if you're not looking for a predominantly pink case, do not get this particular color. But thankfully, they have a lot of other color combinations that you could choose from. There's a yellowish green one, there's a blue one, there's all the rest of it. So you could pick the one that you like the best. But fits really well. The great thing about the Lightning connector, even though we'd all prefer USB-C, I know, is that the cables are relatively small when it comes to the actual port. So as long as there's some clearance here, you're going to have no problem with all your accessories and whatever cable, even third-party cables, getting your connection in without an issue. Now, the one thing that both of these cases do, and it's incredibly important, at least to me, is the buttons. These are separate buttons. They're actually a plastic material, which creates a very satisfying click. So you get an absolute click. I know a lot of times on these cases, what happens is you get it's molded in with the rubber, it's molded in with the material of the case, the plastic, and you're kind of at the mercy of how thick or thin the particular material is that made the case, whether the buttons are going to be. Some of them, you're going to damage your ligaments in your thumb when you're trying to push those buttons. There's nothing worse than an unresponsive button on a case. I really hate that. It drives me nuts, and nothing makes me want to rip the case off faster than a button that you're sitting there like you're getting a workout. You have to push in the freaking thing. These are nice and easy on both of them. A little bit easier on this one, but we'll get to that in a moment. So that's this one. If you're looking for a stylized design case, a dare I say, pop of color, well then this is the one for you. It works fine. Be aware. It's more of a gel skin, a souped up gel skin polyurethane type case. So we'll take this one off and we'll get to the Aneu case. Now this one is the one that I would recommend the most. This is the one that I like. This is the one that I've been using almost exclusively on it. It's harder to get it on. Probably should have done that on camera, but it's harder to get the case on, but that's okay. This reminds me of the Symmetry, the old Symmetry cases, if you remember those. Except now with the new design of the iPhone, you get to go back to the square design on the sides, which is quite nice. The Symmetry ones, as you know, kind of came out a little bit, bowed out to accommodate the curved screen, or not curved screen, but kind of the rounded edges of the old iPhones. This one's squared off, and it is specially rubberized on the side. So while this is a harder plastic, okay, than the other one, this is kind of the softer rubberized plastic. This is a harder plastic on this one. You get the additional protection, but it's not slippery because it's a different material on the side. And then you have the little accent color buttons here, which also remind me of the last time iPhone had this design with the squared off sides. Remember those Otterbox Defender cases with the multiple colors? That's what that reminds me of. Those ones that basically, it turned your phone. I don't know what we were doing back then. I really don't. Those Defenders, you could run them over with a car. It basically turned your phone into an urban assault weapon. You took this elegant small device and you made a brick out of it that you could throw through a window. I don't know why we were so scared back then, especially with the phones as small as they were then. You could palm the thing. I don't know who was dropping the phones back then, but we're sold on these things. I don't know how much money we spent on those cases. It had the 3 layers. You had to pull the plastic. You had to put it in the hard plastic shell. Then you had the rubberized layer you kind of wrapped around it and then put in all those port protectors. It was nuts. It was nuts. But listen, this reminds me kind of that, but the Symmetry version, I think it was the Commuter. I don't even think it was the Commuter. I think the Commuter was 2-piece back in the day. The Symmetry was 1. So this reminds me of the old Symmetry series. And it's nice. Nice lip around here. You got some protection of the screen if you're one of those weirdos that put your phone face down on a table. But it also has the nice back protection. And it's not completely smooth, flat plastic. There is some kind of micro texture to it, so you don't feel like you're going to drop it. Your fingers don't just kind of slide across it and you slide it on a table. It's not something that's just going to keep going. And the other thing I like about that is a lot of times when you get these cases, let's see if I could find one here. I think I do have one here on the old. A lot of times when you get these cases that are super glossy and super shiny, you also get, just like you get on the front screen, you also get some micro scratches in there. If you look really closely at this, you'll see micro scratches on those glossy cases. So when they add a little texture to them and they kind of flatten it out and it's not as glossy, you don't get these scratches on the back of the case because you want the front of the screen looking nice, you want the back of the phone looking nice as well. So you don't want scratches kind of bothering your vision there. My choice personally would be for this one. This is the, like I said, this is the Aneu series, and they claim ultra slim, which it is. It doesn't add a lot of bulk to the phone. I'll give them that. Raised edges, protection, grippy edge, all the rest of it. Designed for iPhone, which always that was on the Fold 2 case too. Designed for Fold 2. Oh, what are they doing back at the factory? Well, we tried to slam a Pixel case on it, but it wouldn't fit. So we eventually gave up and decided to design one just for the phone. Marketing. Your marketing dollars at work. But anyway, if it were up to me, get this one. This is worth the $50. Protects the phone. Doesn't detract too much from the new design of the phone. And you get it. This one, if you really need one of those crazy artistic cases and you don't mind the Apple feel to the cases, this is a nice alternative for the same money. But either way, you're going to protect your phone. And I personally think these are better than the Apple polyurethane offerings. And they both offer MagSafe, so you don't feel like you're missing out on features, those new cool magnetic features on your iPhone 12 Pro. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Listen, I know there's a lot of iPhone stuff. There's more iPhone stuff to come, but nobody feel left out. We got Fold stuff coming, Samsung stuff. We got the budget phone still on the menu. We got iPad stuff coming, BlackBerry stuff, all the Windows Phone. We don't forget anybody here. Until next time. Have that Steve-licious day.